What's up, everybody? Good morning. We have made it to Tuesday once again, and it's time to take a look at how the young players on this team are doing. And honestly, this segment that I do every week on this channel, this might be more important than ever. This might be more important than it was even earlier this year when the season was actually going pretty well and we were winning games and we had some optimism and things actually felt pretty good. Um, the reason why I say that is because right now things are not going terribly well for the Seahawks. They're 6-5. They've got three really hard games coming up. The playoffs are slipping away. It's looking like a second straight year of a disastrous second half collapse. But this is the stuff that we should be holding on to as Seahawks fans because this stuff is here regardless. And it's still the case even if this season goes up in flames. Because whether or not this season goes the way we want it to go, this team has a lot of young talent. And that does not change just because this season is not going well. In fact, part of the reason why the season is not going so well is because a lot of our talent is young and therefore inexperienced, and therefore they don't play as well as they should from week to week. So this part of the team is still strong, and I want to visit this as much as I can because the struggles of this team right now do not. The fact that this team is not playing well right now doesn't change the fact that we have good young players. We just hope that when these young players are in their prime, the coaching allows them to be the best versions of themselves and maximizes what we can get out of those players as a team. So this week, there was some notable stuff. It wasn't as good as usual, partially because K9 did not play, and he's a huge part of this. So no K9. Charbonnet did okay, I guess. He messed up a couple times in a very notable and obvious way. But he is well on his way to a 500-yard season from scrimmage. And, I mean, if you told people Zach Charbonnet was going to get 500 yards from scrimmage this year, I think most people would have been cool with that. I think most people would have said, yeah, that makes sense. He's a first-year running back. We have Walker ahead of him, and it's probably going to be a somewhat pass-happy team. So Charbonnet getting in like this, pretty solid. Wide receivers, JSN had a great catch in that Niners game. He did, but not too much otherwise. He had one other catch. I think it was a screen pass that went for like 6 yards. So he played pretty good. His PFF grid went up a little bit. He's also probably going to get to about 500 yards on the season. I know a lot of people expected more. I expected more. But his transition to the NFL didn't go that smoothly, which I'm a little surprised by, but at the same time, I don't think it changes the fact that this is an exciting young player. And while there are some rookie wide receivers this year that are absolutely roasting it, most of them are playing on teams where they get way more opportunities. JSN doesn't get the targets that a guy like Jordan Addison gets or Zay Flowers. So JSN, decent game. He made, like I said, one really great catch. He's on his way. Bobo had one catch for like 6 yards. Doesn't do a heck of a lot. He's starting to definitely see a reduced impact as this season goes on. He's definitely starting to see less and less action, which I'm not concerned about. The strength of Jake Bobo is not as a receiver catching balls. It's more as a receiver doing run blocking. That's really where I think he's something special. So he doesn't need to put up numbers the same way DK Metcalf does for me to believe he's making an impact out there. And that's it for the skill positions on the offense. Let's go to the offensive line here. And I want to spend a little bit of time here because this is actually big. And I don't want this to get lost in the mess that is this season. And I'm talking about Charles Cross. Charles Cross. It took him a little bit because he was, coming back from that injury. And then the first couple games after the injury, he wasn't looking all that good, which shouldn't surprise anybody. But I think Charles Cross has really settled in here. I think he's playing really good. I think he's showing real improvement over last year. And I think we are on our way with Charles Cross. I think he allowed 3 pressures in that game against the Niners. No sacks, no penalties. run block grade, I mean, he's never going to be a great run blocker, but it's moving up compared to where it was earlier this year, and his overall grade's almost up to 71. For a second year player who was a 21-year-old rookie, so he's still young, I'm excited about that. And just because the offense is this bad does not mean that Charles Cross starting to become a franchise left tackle should be something that we don't pay a little bit of attention to. So that is a huge part of the foundation going forward, and I really wanted to hammer that right now because I think Cross's play, it's easy to get lost, right? Because the offense is so bad for the last several games outside of Washington. But I think Cross has been playing really good football, and a guy like him is a huge piece to this puzzle getting solved in the near future. None of the other young offensive linemen played. Hopefully we get Abe Lucas back this week. That'd be nice. Defensive line, none of these guys played. Cam Young was inactive, which, I mean, I understand that we're just basically going to live or die with our best defensive lineman, but we can't get Cam Young out there for 10 snaps to give Jarran Reed a blow. I don't agree with that. I find it hard to believe that that's the best possible way for things to go here. I don't think that Jarran Reed benefits from playing almost every snap, and I think that Cam Young can help this team by at least giving him somebody who can take a few snaps a game. Nothing from Drake Thomas. He's still hurt. Edge rusher, very quiet game for Boye Mafe. First quiet game in a while, really, against the Rams. Even though he didn't get his sack and he didn't really have any kind of numbers, his PFF grade was still actually really good. But for this game, it was not. It dropped almost 4 points just from this one game. Derek Hall picked up a few tackles, but I mean, when you look at the PFF grade, it starts to make sense why we don't feel comfortable putting him in the game. His run defense has become like he is making Darrell Taylor look like Uchenna Nwosu on the edge defending the run. And I'm not super surprised by that because we knew he was raw coming in, but the fact that Hall can't step up with the absence of Nwosu is part of the problem. And he's got to get it together next year. It's already kind of too late for this year probably, but yeah, this year he's been really, really excuse me, really, really lost in that department, and it's why he doesn't play. Woolen recorded no stats before getting benched. His PFF grade dove a couple of points, which I think is deserved. The PFF noted the missed tackle opportunities. That it's like he's not even trying, so got no problem with that. Witherspoon picked up 5 tackles in a pass defense. He's gonna be near the league lead in pass breakups at the end of this year, by the way. So that's another player. Like, don't let the struggles of this team make you forget about how good Witherspoon looks and how good this could be if we just do things the right way in the next couple years. PFF grade went up for Witherspoon, by the way. Even though I think he may have given up that last touchdown. I'm not sure if they gave it to him or not. But yeah, Witherspoon, great game. And that's it. Kobe Bryant forced a fumble on special teams for whatever that's worth, but he didn't play on defense. Jarek Reed's hurt. Q Blue Kelly's gone. I can actually get him off this chart entirely at this point. And yeah, that is all we got. But seriously, guys, our young talent, the only reason why our young talent is not the envy of the league is because we don't have the young future quarterback. But that's it. We are a young stud future quarterback away. See you guys later. Go Hawks. I'm serious, guys. Don't forget about this. This is big. Like, this might be more important than even having success this year, because this year was never going to be the Super Bowl year. And if you thought it was going to be the Super Bowl year, I think you got ahead of yourself. This is a young team with a lot of inexperience. So when I look at this and I see Witherspoon playing like he's the best defensive rookie in the entire league, I still think he, as of right now, should probably win Defensive Rookie of the Year. When you've got Woolen, who right now he's at a low point, but his coverage numbers are pretty impeccable, and he's still a really good player. You've got Boye Mafe. You've got Charles Cross. Hopefully soon you'll have Abe Lucas, JSN, Charbonnet, Walker. Like, this is a really good young foundation. And the fact that we're losing games right now doesn't take away from that. If anything, it should encourage you to understand that it was never about this year. Now, this year is not going as well as I wanted it to or it needed to. And what that tells me is that we might not have the right coaches for when this young talent enters its prime. That is why I am the way that I am with Carroll right now, because when this talent gets to its prime, when all these guys are in their primes and they're just owning the league, and Pete Carroll's the coach, and he doesn't push the right buttons to maximize what we get out of those young guys, that's going to be awful. Like, this is just kind of sad. That would be a tragedy. All right, so just keep this in perspective. This is not changed by what you're seeing from the team as a whole. See you guys later. Go Hawks. And yeah, this is the seat of our power right now.